Welcome to my study. Today I just want to go over kit setup. Because if you keep an ear and an eye on the news, and you're somewhat educated, well then you should know that people keep talking about civil war, civil strife here in America. And my opinion is we are not far from it. We are in civil strife, which doesn't mean civil war. It's just a common thing. Look at, throughout history, before you have civil wars or revolutions, you have civil strife. And, clearly, if you're a Democrat, you don't like Republicans. And if you're a Republican, well, you probably don't like Democrats. But that line has gotten so blurred to the fact where, or to the point to where you're seeing a lot more violence. We've seen 2 to 3, depending on who you ask, assassination attempts on the current president. Doesn't matter if you like him or you're not. That's 2 assassination attempts. That shows something. You've had, I'd have to go look up the sources and recount, because last I remember it's 4 to 5 different instances where ICE was attacked and they had to use their guns, lethal force, or, there's the sniper that killed 2 detainees trying to kill ICE agents. I know at least 4 or 5 of those. 2 happened in Chicago the day before this video, I think. And today is now I gotta pull October the 6th. Alright. So yeah, obviously civil strife doesn't matter if you think it's been your side's being the violent one or the other side's being violent. It doesn't matter, because violence happened. From what I've seen, most of it's on the liberal leaning. I won't say right. I'll say liberal progressives. I think that'd be a little better term, because I know people who are right who now would be considered, or I know people who are left who now would be considered right just since Charlie Kirk or whatever. So yeah, we gotta have. I've heard people talk about this. People, civil war's coming, but no one ever talks about what kind of civil war or what to have ready in said events. Oh, food, water, a gun. Great. Can we go in depth a little more? And this won't be very in depth, but it will be in depth enough to give general understanding to some people. Vague enough to give people who've actually thought about this some room to add comments and questions that will help me make another video that might go a little more in depth, a little more political, because I'm trying to stay as unpolitical as possible. We're in civil strife. That's it. Civil war hits. What do you need? What can you expect? What might happen? Alright, so to start out, I got Gen 3 IOTV plates, which I think I can't go look these things up as I make the video, and I'm not savvy enough to look it up, make a comment, and then go snip it, and then put it in the video like I was never wrong. So I'm just saying, I think they're on level 4, which can stop a 308. Level 3 will stop 7.62, 5.56, and your normal assault rifle rounds, which I won't say can do anything more than that, because I'd have to look it up. But 5.56, 223, 7.62, Gen 3 will perfectly take care of it. You'll be knocked on your ass, but it'll save your life. And if some of you have already noticed, I have, this is actually Chinese Norinco SKS. Pretty clean with I know it's bubba'd. I did not bubba it. I would never bubba one, but I bought one that was bubba'd. And for people who don't know, bubba Bubba SKS. Bubba gun just means you took an original gun, which would have been wood stock, 10 round fixed magazine, into a plastic polymer stock with magazines. Duckbill, because you would have had the 10 round snapped in right there, but now you take that out and the duckbill, like that. Anyways, I would say if in America, best option 5.56, 223, AR-15, hands down the best. Cheaper ammo than 7.62, more available. We're America. We love our ARs. And that, hands down, is the best. Why did I choose an SKS or go 7.62? Well, 7.62 round is really good in multiple environments. You're talking, cold, wet, damp, because that's also wet. But anyways, cold, wet, hot, whatever, muddy, sand, anything. 7.62 is really good at just firing and keep on firing. And the AK-47 has an amazing reputation with its durability. And the SKS is not as battle true because it's kind of outclassed and replaced before it even got into a main army. But it does hold a very good reputation. And I will say, the bubbled up ones, SKS with duckbill mags, there are actually a lot of them. I went to a gun show recently. Didn't have as many nice surpluses as they used to. The ones I did have, way overpriced, and I would not be willing to pay for. But you can still get a Bubba SKS for about the same price as a cheap AR-15. And they're everywhere. The magazines are everywhere. I used to watch a lot of videos on gangs in America and how they started up and blah, blah, blah. And one of the cheapest ways that they got guns in their guys' street and were able to take over territory and land, as bad as that is an SKS. You can get an SKS, bub it up. Now you have 30 round, 40 round. I got a 40 rounder right here. You can probably even get drums. I don't trust drums. Don't get drums. 40 rounds, great. But yeah, now you just took an SKS, good reliable gun. You got 30 rounds. Great. But it's a duckbill. Not as good as a magazine. So why don't you still just get an AR or an AK? AKs are also like $1,500 for a decent one now. They're going up in price. Another reason why I chose that one, I'm a vet. There's my old uniform hanging up. And a Ukrainian one. I got to train with them. Tough guys. No, but as a vet, I used the M4. Wonderful weapon. I call her a little Betty Boo because constant maintenance. It's like it's worse than a 1911, which I just painted mine and is hanging there drying. To prevent rust. But yeah, needs more lube than a 1911, my opinion. I think round count when I was in is 4,000, 5,000 max, and you're done. While AKs, SKSs, Russian guns shoot a lot longer. And I'd used it already. I was trained on it. And it's like, well, I want to train on a Russian system, 7.62 system. Make sure I know best of both worlds. It's not an AK. It's different. You got to learn different. But it's kind of like putting yourself at a disadvantage. And then once you get good, kind of even out that disadvantage. And once I get, because that's one thing I'll talk about kit. My kit, I don't have it yet, but I will get it soon, will be this SKS. Better accuracy, 7.62 hits, punches really hard. Good for kind of bush warfare, in my opinion. But I will have an AR in a carry bag and a day pack right there or something. Or, it really depends on the situation. Might just leave this case, take the M4, whatever. But for now, I just have an SKS. So I will have 7.62 and an AR-15, which, you know, you can buy a barrel and then have a 308 and a 5.56, and you can just change those barrels out, eliminating the need for a whole extra weapon right here. I mainly have it for training purposes, and, you know, something that's something that you could bury in the dirt, 100 years later, dig it back up, put a magazine in it, and it'll keep on firing. And it's like, that's the level of confidence I have in SKS. Another thing that we don't have anymore because of modern weapons is open bolt system. And that's probably the big reason why I got an SKS instead of an AR first, is this open bolt. Super easy. Your most common jams is you'll get brass, you know, caught up in here, failure to eject, most common malfunction. And the best thing about open bolt system is, how do you clear a malfunction? You just rack it back. That's it. Oh, something stuck, rack it back. If something's extra sharp, rack it back. And if that don't unstick it, well, guess what? You got big open bolt, easy to put your hand in there, move out, finesse anything you need to. So open bolt, really easy to unjam. I love that. And I'd say another big seller is stripper clip. And it don't have the original 10-round fixed magazine that you'd feed stripper clips every time you ran out. It has magazines, but one thing I've learned is you can use stripper clips with these magazines. And to make it easier, if you look on the back of this one, oh boy, I have kind of given an angle on that back corner. See if there's a better example right here. You have a bit of an angle. On this one, same thing, metal, not as much of an angle. And that kind of helps the stripper clip fit in and give enough, you know, it'll hold it in place to where you can ram those 10 rounds down. That is something that I've been working on and I've kind of found is, she'll take 10, put a 30 round magazine in her, first 10 go down good. 20 can kind of be a push sometimes. So my main theory, my main reason of running an SKS in this format is because once I go boom, 30 rounds gone, boom, 30 rounds gone, boom, 40 rounds gone. Last one here, 20 round magazine, which has a very nice, sleek, shorter profile than your big whopping 40 rounder. Way smaller profile. This one will mainly be used for stripper clips. So run through all your mags, down to your last mag. Mag is empty. I think I voice cracked back there. Boom. Got this pouch up here in the front. What's in that? Well, stripper clips. And I have them in Ziploc bags so humidity doesn't get to them as it's sitting there waiting to go when something pops off and I need them. You know, that could be decade. So they're here in a bag. I've taped it so you don't have any bright colors shining. I left this little window so you can see how many stripper clips. And, you know, obviously it's a stripper clip, so it doesn't have a round fallout. But it gives you a visual of how many stripper clips you got in there. But pretty much, run out magazines. On the back of my kit, I have a dump pouch where you're going to put most of your magazines. 2 side pockets. I won't go in with what I put into them normally. But yeah, 2 side pockets. An AR magazine that I've had for forever. And I put it there because it fits a tourniquet pretty well. No, but so pretty much, you know, boom, boom, boom. Mags are now in your dump pouch. And so you can open that up, bam, stripper clips. You can just pull that out and slide it in that magazine hold. And you can just reach in, pull out a strip clip, and then now you're feeding through strip clips because you're out of mags. So that works well. And a lot of times, I'll even have ammo in the side packs, the packs of 20, because I don't have enough. I've got as many strip clips as I want to hold, and if I want more ammo, because I don't have enough mags to hold all the ammo I want to hold, I'll put the 20 rounders over here. Another thing you do is put them in a day pack or an assault pack or something. But yeah, magazines. Once the magazines are out, bam, stripper clips to keep feeding into your chosen stripper clip mag. And I got 2 stripper clips mags, this one and that one, just in case, that I've slightly modified to better fit the stripper clips. But yeah, 10, 20's pushing it, but you can rack 10 in there real quick, pull that bitch out. Dang it, cursed. Try not to. Oh well. So yeah, that's the whole spiel behind the SKS. Is I now have open bolt system that I find easier to unjam, and stripper clip capacity for once you are out of ammo, or out of magazines, I mean. And you know, so it won't be a problem for everyone. Some people are gonna have loads and loads of magazines, but as one thing the Ukrainian war against Russia has proven is that magazines are probably one of the most coveted things right now in that war. Because they break, they get old, springs wear out, you need more, and it seems to be the most coveted thing at war right now, other than drone, I guess, is magazines for your weapon. So I like having the option of being able to run my magazines or just run a strip clip. That's the main idea behind the SKS. I won't go into the AR until I have one. I'm mainly just going to talk about SKS because as depending on what state you live in, you might live in California, Washington, a state where you're not allowed to have certain features. Like even on my SKS, I have a pistol grip and a stock that folds out, which is illegal in a lot of liberal-leaning states. But if you have an SKS with a wood stock, you're fine. If you have a Mini 14 with no pistol grip and 10 round magazines, you're fine. Same thing. In Mini 14, same thing. Open bolt. I actually don't know I forget if it's stripper clip. The reason why I didn't go with the Mini 14 is because the magazines are a lot harder to come by, and the duckbill magazines are way easier to find than Mini 14. So in a big war scenario, you're more likely to come across someone, maybe you have to shoot someone, maybe you're fighting with someone and they go down. Your possibility of coming across people with a duckbill SKS is actually pretty high compared to a Mini 14 magazines. That's another thing the SKS system's got going for it. And then another thing, because I know a lot of people, they probably already have SKSs. If you're living in one of those bad states where they're taking away your gun rights, you probably had to go with an option like this. You're like, man, I really want that AR. Well, train on what you got. Be good at it, because guess what? If you actually come in a scenario where you gotta use it, if you come out on top, like the reason why you have the kit for it, the reason why you got a gun for it, if you come out on top, in most scenarios, you can take gear, just like video games. So if you don't want your SKS anymore, you just kill the guy with, $5,000 AR and 10 magazines and a truck full of ammo. Guess what? Ditch the SKS. You got a new gun. You got new ammo. You're obviously going to have to take into account that you're going to have to shoot that gun, figure out it's zero before you can actually trust it, just like you should do with any gun. But you're always, if you come out on top, you're going to get some gear, hopefully. Which brings me to ammo. I do not have as much ammo. I'm just a poor southern man from Arkansas. I do not have as much ammo as I would want to have or would like to have. And once I get enough ammo, I always got to shoot some because you got to stay sharp. You got to do your own training. You gotta stay sharp. You gotta know how to use your weapon, which requires ammo. So in the military, combat load was roughly, let's see if I don't remember the exact number, but it was roughly hovering around 250 to 270 rounds of 223 if you're a gunner. Or, I'm sorry, 5.56 if you're a gunner. And that's kind of what I base mine around. I have over 200 and something rounds of 7.62 set aside at any point that I'm not allowed to shoot. And in the military, that combat load was considered enough for a firefight. A firefight is, one interaction with the enemy. You guys get into a firefight, a shootout. 270 rounds is what the U.S. government wanted us to have if you were a rifleman. And so I kind of based my criteria around that. I guess that's where I set my bar. So I always have 250 rounds of 7.62 at any given time, enough for one firefight. A big firefight, may that be, that's going to be 5+ guys if you're in a firefight with using that many rounds, or just really bunkered down and getting fired on. But that'll get you enough to get out of a firefight. You just whacked a couple guys, you now got more guns and ammo. So you got to have enough ammo to be able to win a firefight and then get resources from that firefight. But you also got to take into account, you might get in a firefight and then you got to flee before people show up. So you got to take that into account too. You might just use all 250 plus rounds you had on a firefight, but now you hear people coming up and you don't have time to run out there and grab more guns and ammo. That's another thing, which is also where pistols would come in, which I actually have mine being painted. I painted mine and it's dry. It's got about another week. It's just the normal spray paint. I'm saving up so I can do the hydro coating and electro coating on my guns, but that requires more time, more equipment, and more money. That's where pistol comes in. I usually, if I got 250 rounds of assault rifle ammo, I want at least 150 rounds of 1911, which is what I use, 45. So that's another thing. Pistols are good. So that covers the gun. Covers a bit of ammo. Let's go into packing and whatnot. In the military, we always had a rucksack and a day pack. Which the day pack was, up to 3 days in the field, enough stuff to help you survive, get through that before you could get re-geared up or whatnot. And then your assault pack was your more heavy, long time in the field bag, which is right here. I got my rucksack. And usually I keep 3 pairs of OCPs, tops and bottoms, 4 tank tops, or 4 tantees, 5 pairs of underwear, 5 pairs of socks, water purifier, cooking, knife. I won't go into my whole packing. If people want that, I can get it out there. But you just got to think, I need to be able to stay in the field as long as possible, and I need it light as possible. Mine is probably, let me see. Probably 45, almost 50 pounds at the time. And once I'd have a water filled up, a whole gallon of water or a couple liters of water on top of that with some ammo, you're talking it's going to be up to 75, 80 pounds, which some of my rucks in the military, that's pretty normal, and you're going to have to get used to that. But I usually try to keep my rucks within 50 to 70 pounds, fully loaded, and always write it down. I have a whole list. Here's another great thing to have, write in the rain books. I've had these for years, left them out in the rain, they've been rained on, got them wet, writing in them, never smudges, always there. But I write down everything I have in my packing list, and then everything I might need in my packing list. Then I go down it. If it's in the bag at the moment, I leave a little check mark next to it. If it's not in the bag, I don't mark it, so I know that's the gear I need to get. And then leave that packing list in the zipper or somewhere in a pocket to where you can pull it out. Be like, oh crap, I haven't looked at this bag in years, or oh, it's winter now, because like what I gotta do now is get it ready for winter. Like, I need my winter bag ready. Well, now you can pull out the list and you know what you got in it, so you know what you need to take out or you know what you need to add. And that's pretty much on packing. And then here I have a day bag with actually nothing in it at the moment. I'm a married man with kids, so wife would get to pack this bag, and I'd pretty much just have everything I need in this bag. And then anything like if you got family, valuables, jewelry, books, which I'd find very important if there's a civil war. We need books, we need education, we need to smarter generation that wouldn't be able or wouldn't make the mistakes we did that got us here. So books are important. But yeah, having the full military duffel bags are great for that. And so you got primary bags, throw those in your car. If you got time, throw other essentials into a duffel bag, and throw that into your car. And you already got your kit, your mags, your ammo ready to get thrown on. And then, pack's ready with a packing list so you know what's in it. So kit with ammo. I don't leave my mag. If you got money, I'm a poor man. I only have these two 30s, a 40, and a 20. That's all I got. So I cannot afford to leave them loaded all the time. So I keep one with 15 to 20 rounds. This is a 20 rounder, so I only have 15 in it at the moment. If I load up a 30, probably put 15, 20, 15, 20. The 40, I'll put 20 in it. And I kind of just like cycle around. I keep one in the gun for a couple weeks, then unload it, load another one, couple weeks, unload it, load another one, and just kind of rotate them. Because if something happens, hopefully it's not so close to you to where you need all your magazines. And if it is that close to you to where you need all your magazines loaded, well, you're probably in a big city. You probably should have seen signs, and you probably should have already had them loaded. But as for me, 15, 20 at a time. If I got to fight from my house to get to my car, I'm telling my wife, load these up, hand them to me as I'm firing. I'll have to take that risk until I get more magazines where I can at least have 1 to 2 fully loaded at all times. And, just write on those used ones, or what roll they're used for with a piece of tape or Sharpie. But yeah, so you need a good assault rifle, magazine, compatible. It's just the way the world works now. Kit, magazines, rucksack, fully packed with a pack list. And that theoretically, if you're a single man, that's all you need. Your pack's going to have your food, your clothes, your ammo. You're going to be carrying your gun while wearing your kit. And that would be the first steps that I would take. Gun, kit, rucksack. If you don't have a gun, but you got stuff that could go in a rucksack, do your rucksack. Why you save up for a gun? If you got a gun, got gear, got a rucksack, get that going. Save up for bulletproof vest, because that will save your life. And a good first aid kit too. That's another thing. But I'm at 30 minutes. I think I rambled on long enough. I didn't prepare for this. I kind of just went off the top of my head, what I've been thinking. Hopefully people in the comments will give good questions and good knowledge into future videos. How I could present something better. I'll read them and I'll see what kind of video comes out next. Thanks for listening to Southern Man Rant. Stay safe.